Welcome to a very useful session to those of you that would like to start up their own business or maybe get a job in one of the most creative and fastest growing industries in the world at the moment. I'm here on behalf of Nordeus, one of the leading European social gaming companies, and one of the features of Nordeus that kind of stands out compared to the other companies is that we are a Serbian company. Now, probably a lot of you heard about Top 11. It's a football game for Facebook. And I'm going to give you a few reasons why I love this game. So, first of all, my friends and co-workers and me, we made it. Then it must be a really good game, given that it's got a 5-star rating on Facebook, which is the best rating any game has. Also, another interesting thing about it is that within 3 days, an entire Wembley Stadium capacity starts playing this game. So we get 30,000 people a day joining us. Also, this game is really packed with action. So we've got 3 million matches played per day, followed by 350,000 players transferred. Now, what probably many of you doesn't know is that Top 11 is the most popular online sports game in the world. So at the moment we've got almost At the moment we've got almost 3 million monthly active users, and but even more important, we've got almost 800,000 people playing the game every day. Now, this is 50% better than Electronic Arts does with their FIFA superstars. We're also leading the industry in many other categories, which basically represents the addictiveness of the game and how much people interact with it. And maybe the reason I love this game the most is that it's a typical underdog story. So this is a social gaming Rocky Balboa. Basically a small Serbian company, a startup, built a football game, and then within 1 year after releasing it, EA is looking at our back. Now I'm going to tell you a bit more about social gaming and virtual goods industry. So this industry basically didn't exist some 4 years ago. There was no social gaming. Meantime, a lot of things happened, and today we've got an average internet user spending 1/3 of his time on social networks and playing social games. Now this is 10 times more than they spend on YouTube, or 5 times more than they do emails. The only industry that's doing better than social and games is the adult industry, but we won't be covering that today. Okay, so when you've got people spending 1/3 of their time online on social networks and games, that means they're engaging with some products and services. And when people engage with services and products, that means money, it means revenue. So this industry is extremely lucrative. It's based on virtual goods, and virtual goods is one of the smartest things that anybody ever thought of. So basically what you do is you create a virtual item, like a pink cow, that costs nothing to be fed or grown up or whatever, and then you sell it for real money, for the money that people receive through their salary. So basically you've got 100% profit as a merchant. Now, that's the highest you can do. What it means that, okay, so to recap, basically I'm going to tell something about the analysis. Fortunately, Americans are very thorough and they do statistics on anything. So in 2011, this year, the virtual goods market in US is going to be higher than $2 billion. Worldwide, it's multiple times that. So making that much money, of course, leads to companies growing really fast and hiring like crazy. So the flagship of the social gaming industry is definitely Zynga. And if, in case somebody hasn't heard about Zynga, it's the company that stands behind Farmville, Cityville, whateverville, and they're doing really good. I mean, today their value on the market is $11 billion. To explain to you how big that is, let's take Electronic Arts. It's a gaming giant that's been on the market for more than 20 years. having developed all those FIFA, NBA, NHL, Need for Speed, Medal of Honor, you name it, games. And their value is 5.5 billion, which is exactly half of the Zynga worth. Zynga is, by the way, one of the biggest successes in the economy ever. So, and actually, the interesting thing is that EA is worth 5.5 billion also because they've entered the social gaming. Otherwise, it would be much lower value. Okay, so when you've got that much money coming in, you've got a lot of investors wanting to get there. So there's a lot of venture capital and money there for you to get it. And also, the other companies that still haven't entered the social gaming market are really rushing in. The newest example is less than a month old, when Caesars Entertainment, they own entire Las Vegas. So basically, they bought a social gaming company that does some gambling games on Facebook for $90 million. All right, now we got the idea of what the social gaming and virtual goods industry is all about. And now I'm gonna try to point you guys out on what you need to do in order to prevent yourselves from failing in business. So I've talked to a lot of people starting out companies around here, and the main problem I saw is that they don't really make any business model. They don't think ahead. They don't do a thorough market research. So when you start building a product or a service today, you can't expect it to be on the market tomorrow. It's going to be on the market in 6 months, a year, more likely 2 years from now. You need to figure out what the market is going to look like in 2 years from now, who the competitors are going to be, what's going to happen around there. You really need to think ahead. And in that process, building a business model helps a lot. So I'm going to give you a 101 on business model generation. So first of all, you need to identify what your customers are. I mean, who are you going to give your service or product to? Identify the segments. It could be mass market, like, I don't know, TVs. Or maybe it could be something diversified. Like a good example would be, I don't know, credit card company that basically relies on people using credit cards in shops when buying stuff, and the same shops having the credit card terminals and enabling people to buy stuff with credit cards. So you really need to know who your customer is. And the next important thing you need to know is what value are you bringing to the customer. So what customer need are you covering? What are you satisfying? What problem are you solving for them? That's very, very important. And when you got these two covered, the next thing is to figure out what kind of engagement does customer want you to receive from you. So basically that will mean how are you going to interact with the customer, because they need to be babysitted. And the last but not the least, regarding the value and the customer, is the channel. How are you going to provide the service or good to the customer? Okay, in our case, everybody in the room, it's probably online, it's internet, it's easy. But then over there also you've got many channels. You can do it through Facebook like we did, or some other channel. Okay, then you need to identify the key activities you're gonna perform. So while building your product and maintaining it later. That's like developing software, I don't know, selling it, marketing, so on. Also, you need to identify the key resources you're gonna need. So obviously, you're probably gonna need some human resources, engineers, designers. You might need some physical resources like computers, servers, I don't know. You might need some intellectual property. And the next thing you need to identify is key partnerships. So in the modern business, it's unlikely to do everything on your own, especially if you're just starting up. So you need to figure out who are the key partners you need to get in touch with. For us, for example, it's Facebook. I mean, we are very well integrated in the Facebook ecosystem. All right, and this is all very nice, but if you want to have a business, it needs to make money. So a business means making money. So you need to damn good figure out how are you going to make money. I mean, what are your customers willing to pay for? Are they going to pay for it? What are they paying for at the moment? How are they going to pay for your service or good? The last but not the least is cost structure, and shortly it means you need to figure out where, when, and how much are you going to spend. Okay, so there's a big theory behind this, but once you start doing it, you're going to get a lot of questions, and you're going to start also giving answers, and once it all clicks, so if it all makes sense, you're on a good way to a success. Speaking about success, I'm going to try to tell you a few things from my experience. So basically, failure is an option, and it's a probable outcome. So most of the people fail when they start a business. However, even if you do fail, the things you learn are going to be very, very valuable for you. Maybe for your next startup or for your next job. So do try it. The next thing is, if you figure out that anybody from your team has a give-up mentality, where they always find excuses for why they didn't do something, or they did it bad, get rid of those people immediately. And the last one is try to hire the best people you can, even better than yourself. Because if you don't do so, you're going to fail. Even if you somehow succeed, which you're not going to, but even if you do, when your company reaches 100 people, the people that joined you in the beginning are going to be the key people in the company. And if they're lousy and bad, you're going down. All right. Social gaming is a big unknown, or at least it was. Now it's getting more popular. So I'm going to try to give you a brief overlook of the future of the social gaming. So first of all, Facebook is expanding rapidly still. I mean, it's still growing. It's reaching the markets where it wasn't before. So going for Facebook is a good choice still. Another thing is that mobile is picking up rather fast now. Everybody is getting smartphones all over the world. And definitely social gaming is also going mobile. So if you do social gaming, it's going to be a very exciting area where you can cover a lot of new technologies, where you're going to be able to do amazing things. And the next thing that we believe social is going to is 3 dimensions. So if you look at the history of gaming, it all started with some textual games and ugly 2-dimensional games that over time became better looking 2-dimensional games, going to isometric games like, I don't know, Warcraft 2. That isometric stage is what's going on Facebook at the moment. So right now you've got games that have isometric to 3D. The next step, if you look at the history, is 3 dimensions, and whoever gets there in time has a really, really big opportunity. Regarding Nordeus, of course, we're on track with all those things, and you can expect from us during the summer and during the next year some very, very exciting, cool stuff. Okay, so those of you that do not want to start up a company, we're hiring like crazy. So we've got a lot of open positions. All we need is young, talented people, preferably with a university degree. Feel free to go to nordeus.eu/jobs and browse for the jobs. You might notice something very interesting for yourself, and then send us a CV. We'll get in touch. What Nordeus provides its employees with is, first and most important, a really, really fast career growth, because Nordeus hires only the best engineers that exist here. So the current team is rockstar, and you will not find a better development team in Serbia for sure. It comprises of some international hires that used to work in, I mean not international hires, but people that used to work in international companies like Microsoft and so on. And also some really, really talented youngsters that are usually the best students of the generation on the Belgrade's Faculty of Electrical Engineering and Mathematics. So with those people, you're going to learn a lot. On top of that, we have really, really top-notch office space and working condition, great salaries, great incentives, great hardware. I mean, everything is great. Feel free to come and visit, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay.